The reason most marketing fails to attract and convert clients is because it's too focused on tactics, tools, and tricks, and ignores the real causes behind why clients actually buy and why they don't. Now, a bit of a spoiler alert here, but it has to do with buyer psychology and how the marketing brain actually works, but more on that later. See, if you're like most of my clients and students, then at some point you may have wondered, why do some businesses thrive despite having an inferior service or appearing to care less about their clients? Why do some clients seem interested to buy, but then back away at the last moment or go completely cold? And why sometimes do even your best and most compelling offers and pieces of content go unheard and ignored by your market? Well, the answer is the brain. More specifically, your clients' brains, and the fact that their brains are doing exactly what they were designed to do, which is to quickly evaluate information and situations in order to gain pleasure, avoid pain, and keep them alive. And those facts haven't changed in tens of thousands of years. Marketing fails when it ignores this and attempts to outsmart the brain and its amazing capacity to evaluate, process, and interpret information automatically, instantaneously. This is why marketing based on tricks, tools, and tactics, and that ignores strategic marketing fundamentals and psychological principles, are all but destined to fail. The world is a loud and confusing place, which means our brains need to use a number of different mental shortcuts, known as heuristics, to help ease the cognitive load of making decisions and evaluating information. What's interesting, though, is that these mental shortcuts all take place subconsciously, instantaneously, and without anyone ever noticing. And this is a good thing, because if we had to consciously process everything we think, which is over 6,000 thoughts a day, everything we do from eating to breathing to brushing your teeth, and everything we see, with the average person now seeing upwards of 10,000 ads alone each and every single day, well, our minds would overheat and shut down, or just completely explode. So the fact that most of the mental work we do on a day-to-day basis takes place automatically, subconsciously, and without any actual thinking required keeps us sane and alive. But it also leads to a few cognitive biases, which, according to a great definition by Very Well Mind, are systematic errors in thinking that occur when people are processing and interpreting information in the world around them and affects the decisions and judgments that they make. Basically, these mental shortcuts save time and energy, but they also make mistakes and occasionally misrepresent just how important something is. For example, this is why you've been told that making a good first impression matters so much. It's because this first impression is going to impact every single thought and feeling and opinion someone has of you moving forward. And those things are very hard to change. And this is a cognitive bias known as the halo effect. Or why the first and last thing that someone hears are perceived as being the most important and will be given mental priority above everything else that's said. Well, this cognitive bias is known as the serial position effect. Or why we always look to see what others around us are doing to help us decide, well, what decision is going to be best. And this is known as the bandwagon effect. And it's the reason that social proof and testimonials are just so powerful in marketing. Or why the more often we see something, the more likely we are to like it and to trust it, which is known as the mere exposure effect. Or one more, how about? Why the first price that someone hears anchors or sets the frame from which they'll judge all future numbers against, which is known as anchoring. Even if this number is unrealistically high or unrealistically low, it still anchors itself and has an impact. In fact, even when someone's told not to let this anchoring affect their perception, it still does. And of course, there are many, many more. And this is why focus groups often fail, because the bandwagon effect takes place where everyone just agrees automatically with everybody else. Or why asking people directly what they think doesn't really work, because of attribution error that shows what people feel is context and environment specific. And why most of the traditional marketing strategies that are based on anything other than psychological principles are pretty much destined to fail, due in part to over 185 different cognitive biases. Now, the good news is you don't need to memorize or even know all 185 different cognitive biases in order to create marketing that works. Not all of these biases and triggers are relevant, and not all of them are equally powerful. The important thing to know is that there are psychological factors at play that are so powerful that even when you know they're being used against you, you still can't stop them. And neither can your clients. But the key to really maximizing the effectiveness of your marketing and of your messages is that you need to deploy these factors in a strategic sequence that works with how your clients' brains naturally process and evaluate information, laying them out one by one, each one building on the last, guiding, leading, and caring. Each and every single step of the way. It's hard work, but when you get this right and you present your marketing information using a strategic and structured sequence, your client's resistance is lowered. their curiosity is engaged, and a path to purchase is established. A path to purchase that some studies have shown may just end up being 87% more effective at increasing content consumption and 56% more effective at increasing signups and conversions. And that's good news for smart entrepreneurs. But the best part of designing your marketing this way is that you're able to trade in those old school, aggressive, hard selling and pushy marketing tactics that feel gross for a more effective and ethical way that allows you to get more and better clients, get more time and financial freedom, have easier sales calls or no sales calls at all, with pre-qualified and pre-sold clients that show up ready to sign up now. You get to make a bigger impact, and you get to serve even more people. And you get that feeling of success and confidence and accomplishment in knowing that your business is moving in the right direction. And best of all, you now have a way to attract more perfect fit clients to grow your business on your terms, predictably, profitably, and without sacrificing your integrity in the process. If you're like most of my clients and students, then maybe some of this sounds familiar. You're great at what you do, you just wish more people knew about you and would give you a chance, because then your business would grow. You may have heard the best way to get more clients was to network, or cold call, or send never-ending messages, or constantly bug your network for referrals, but that feels gross and slimy and way too salesy. You're a hard worker, but you often feel overwhelmed trying to figure out what to work on next, especially when it comes to marketing. You've read the books, taken the courses, and signed up for the group programs, but are often disappointed with the generic advice and those one-size-fits-all solutions that never seem to fit you. Or you don't have a consistent, repeatable, or scalable process to generate leads and clients and sales on demand. So you're stuck in that infamous feast and famine cycle, too busy one month and scrambling for clients the next. And all of this leads to frustration and is not a fun place to be. I know those feelings firsthand because that was my exact story when I first started building my online business over 10 years ago. It's frustrating being an unheard and ignored entrepreneur, watching less ethical competitors skate by and trying to figure out what's missing from your business that would allow you to grow. But most of all, it can be frustrating to look at the marketing industry as a whole and wonder if it really is this full of tricksters and hucksters and get-rich-quickers constantly chasing that next shiny object and those snake oil salesmen willing to sell anything to anyone just to make a quick buck. And maybe you're skeptical of being told to use pushy tactics that don't fit your values and tired of sleazy, unethical, and just overall gross tricks that never feel good to use. Plus, if you're like most people, you're probably also pretty sick and tired of seeing all of those bro marketers and fake internet marketing millionaires posing in front of rented Lamborghinis and Airbnb mansions, and shouting out one unbelievable hyped up claim after another. You may even be wondering, like I was so many years ago, if you're even cut out for this whole business thing anyway. Of course, along the journey to success, there are the usual fixes and pieces of conventional wisdom. Things like getting advice from friends and family. And while their hearts are usually in the right place, few of them truly understand how the business world really works. Books can be amazingly helpful, but often lack specifics and actionable strategies to implement. Online courses are good, and there are some great ones out there, helpful and informative. But many are missing customization, personalization, and support. So you're left not really sure how to adapt the content to your unique business and situation. Masterminds are another topic entirely, most of which are insanely expensive and rarely worth the investment, though again, there are good groups out there. And of course, online group coaching programs, which again are often really good, but sometimes missing the expertise or guidance or support needed. Add to all of this the never-ending barrage of new tactics and tricks and hacks being thrown your way on a daily basis, with everyone telling you that their way is the best way, if not the only way, to grow your business. Long story short, there's a lot of stuff out there, but the reason that much of it doesn't work as well as it's supposed to, or doesn't work at all, has to do with the fact that it's built on tactics, tools, and tricks, and not strategy and psychology. But more on that in just a minute. So if you've made progress in your business, but aren't yet at the level you want to be at, if you're feeling stuck or stalled or unable to take the next step, or maybe you're even considering accepting your fate as doomed to struggle, never cracking the business code and never truly fulfilling your potential, forced to either embrace the bro marketing tactics that go against everything you believe, or give it all up and go back to the corporate world and the 9-to-5, just wait. There is another way. The answer you're looking for isn't more, as in more tactics, more tricks, and more tools. The answer is better, as in strategic and psychologically driven marketing. A way that allows you to attract and enroll not just more, but better and more perfect fit clients in your programs, courses, and services. A way that isn't currently being preached right now, and one that focuses on empathy, connection, and building relationships. A way to do marketing that's both ethical and yet extremely profitable, and a way that works even better than the transactional, hyper-aggressive marketing philosophy that's plaguing our industry today. Most of all, a way that aligns with your values, your ethics, and your commitment to integrity. Well, if you're like most of my clients and students, then this is what you may be looking for too. A better, more effective, more ethical, and more profitable way to grow your business and attract more perfect fit clients without sacrificing your integrity or dying from stress in the process. Fortunately, all of this is possible. What actually makes a difference in your marketing is the psychology behind why clients buy and why they don't, and the strategy to put the pieces together so you're doing the right things in the right place for the right people. Over the past 10 years, I've worked with over 800 clients who time after time kept coming to me with the exact same problems. There are so many things that we as entrepreneurs are told to do that should work, but don't. Or worse, they work for a short period of time, giving you a false sense of hope before failing catastrophically and leaving you alone and wondering what just happened. The problem here is that most marketing trainings and courses and so-called experts today are all focused on tactics, creating marketing based on tricks and hacks and beating the algorithm, rather than on what actually matters and what actually makes a difference, which is the psychology behind why clients buy and why they don't, and the strategy to put the pieces together so again, you're doing the right things in the right place for the right people at the right time. The reality is that tricks and tools and tactics are the lowest and yet most common form of marketing. They're often new and shiny and fun, so they're easy to sell, but they make up the lowest part of the marketing hierarchy, and at best, try to deliver short-term wins and a few vanity metrics like getting more likes and comments or shares. It's only when you move up to the strategy and ultimately psychology levels of the pyramid does your marketing and business really start to take off. It's here in the upper echelons of strategy and psychology that you're able to create marketing that makes you irresistible to your clients and untouchable to your competitors. Over the last 10 years, I've found that there are actually only ever 3 things that really matter when it comes to creating marketing that attracts more perfect fit clients for your services, programs, or courses. When you get these 3 things installed in your business, rather than shouting and pushing and shaming people to buy, like most traditional marketing approaches suggest you do, you get to meet clients where they are. You get to take them by the hand and guide them from where they are now to where they want to go. It's more effective, it's more ethical, and it's far more profitable too. That's why in the next video, I'll show you exactly what those 3 things are and how to apply them in your business and marketing. And you can find that video right here. So make sure to check it out now, and I'll see you in the next episode. And the powerful psychological factors behind why clients buy and why they sometimes don't is key to creating more effective marketing and to attracting more and better clients so you can grow your